One. Within 50 years, when was the Magna Carta signed?
Oh, see, we need our friends here for that. That's deep stuff there.
Old history.
You can't ask me English history. I hate English history.
See, that's the kind of stuff I don't do. I do pop culture.
1820.
I'm going to say 1398.
I'm gonna guess here. 1650.
1650?
1560. I'm gonna shit.
Ooh,
So,
off.
Well, you're older than I am. You should have got that.
Visco stands for what?
Visco stands for what?
You know, we had this at a trivia night.
Yeah. I have no idea.
That stands for National Biscuit Company.
National Biscuit Company.
The National Biscuit Company.
National Biscuit Company.
Very good.
It's not English, is it?
See, we're
It's
pathetic.
National something Biscuit Company. National Biscuit Company.
Makes sense after you hear it. I never knew it.
Yeah.
How many notches are on the circumference of a dime?
Whoa.
Wow. If I hit this right on, you're gonna fall out of your seat.
You know, that's one of those, I've heard this before. It's like the dimples on a golf ball.
That's a great question.
144.
119.
158.
Was there 80? 90.
110. See, we do our tiebreakers numerically. And so I've done that question before.
I knew it was over 100. Wow, that's a good one. I like that one.
I should have said 110.
Welcome to the world of trivia. Questions like these fill all parts of the city of St. Louis, Missouri, from its school gymnasiums to its neighborhood watering holes. Show up on the right night, and you'll be challenged to answer questions like,
in what city does the TV series Rescue Me take place?
What is the minimum age requirement to serve as a member of the United States Senate?
According to cooking show host Rachel Ray, what does the abbreviation EVOO stand for?
What was the name of the NASA space project after Mercury, but before Apollo?
These and more make up a trivia night, an event where people gather to test their knowledge of facts and figures and see how well they stack up in comparison to the group at the table next to them. Trivia nights come in two primary styles. There's bar trivia, where teams often play for free and compete for several rounds for prizes such as bar money, beer, and of course, bragging rights. Then, there's a fundraising trivia night. Perhaps St. Louis-style trivia, if you ask the locals. A much larger, more structured event where teams of 6 to 10 people pay to play, competing for 10 rounds of 10 questions each. With 100 questions about random bits of knowledge, the full-fledged trivia night could be viewed as a celebration of the human memory. Just ask Joe Holloman, aka the Life Sherpa, a columnist at the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and an active member of the trivia scene for over 20 years.
I think trivia is about recalling it from your brain. I mean, to me it is, and I don't know how other people look at it, but I know that all the people who were fans of Jeopardy and were fans of Trivial Pursuit before there were smartphones and iPhones and iPads and laptops, I know that they feel that same way too. The challenge is can I remember this from my own head? Because there really is no talent to Googling or pinging something. It's a wonderful tool, but a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old can Google or ping and come up with answers. So I think there's a level of honor that most people who I would consider are trivia buffs would follow that. But I think the trivia contest or trivia match-offs are all about your ability to recall information from your head. That's what the contest is.
Name the 5 boroughs of New York. schools them all?
How many are there?
What is it, the Bronx?
Manhattan.
Brooklyn?
Queens.
And Staten Island, which was originally called Richmond.
While the trivia community still values the mind's expansive storage capabilities, others are changing their view. For them, the tech tools Joe discusses, smartphones, tablets, laptops, allow us to reallot mental capacities toward other functions, such as greater creativity and more in-depth analysis of thought. A March 2011 article in the British Telegraph outlines the crux of this viewpoint. The article states, "The simple fact is that if we want to raise a generation of children who can think critically and do more than repeat facts, we need to drastically change our entire exam and assessment system. Schools are meant to produce well-rounded and intelligent individuals who can work productively and contribute to society. Yet in actual fact, students are lavished with rewards, access to universities, grants, and jobs based on how well they can memorize huge numbers of facts and argument. Today, exams resemble nothing more than incredibly long and tedious pub quizzes." The founders of Google, Sergey Brin and Larry Page, seem to echo this position, suggesting we will soon be at a place where storage of information becomes an advanced add-on to our minds. In a Newsweek interview, Brin was quoted as saying, "Certainly, if you had all the world's information directly attached to your brain, or an artificial brain that was smarter than your brain, you'd be better off." For Holloman, this idea seems logical, but it also presents more questions.
If you had all the knowledge in the world at your fingertips, well, if everybody had all the knowledge in the world at your fingertips, then who's smart and who's not smart? So if everybody has all the information, then what becomes the value of that? I don't know. It's a very good question. I think it's one of those things that could be, you would be far better off until we destroyed the world. You know, till we blew up the world in 12 minutes after we all achieved this knowledge. So I don't know.
Others in the trivia community have also raised concerns of entering a tech-dependent world when it comes to our memory. Andy and Sue Wilson, players at a recent trivia night in St. Charles, Missouri, have seen how quickly such a system can become problematic.
We've got family that suffered a loss in the tornadoes. So, they've lost pretty much everything. No computers, I mean, they have their cell phones, but
They got it on movie.
yeah, they got all the 30 seconds and a lot of that stuff can be gone. So you have to really have a good base knowledge of a few things.
Well, and if you're talking history, you need to know who we are and where we came from, and just being able to go to the computer and look that up. There's more to life than that.
And others agree, citing the mettle of mind over machine.
I think it still has value. Yeah. Because you're not always in front of your computer.
Right.
It just seems to me that it's part of the body of knowledge that we all carry with us in our heads that we need to have to sort of be a well-rounded person. When you take away the computer and you take away the smartphone and it's just you engaged with another person, you need to have that information. It's sort of if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you can always look their birthday up. But it really would behoove you to remember what that birthday is without having to look it up. So I think it kind of falls into that category.
But it's more than technology's availability, or lack thereof, that cements the importance of one's own mind among trivia players.
I would say number one, it's mental discipline. And I don't think there's anything wrong with teaching a certain level of mental discipline when you're younger, because can you live without knowing the importance of the Magna Carta? Of course you can. But being able to say 12 words about it, or at least memorizing it, or learning about it, helped you develop a mental discipline where it's like, here's something I'm going to have to engage my mind on, which is not a subject that I necessarily would otherwise. It's not like Pearl Jam's latest album. I'm more than happy to sit and listen to that all day. I don't care about the Magna Carta. However, I'm going to force myself, I'm being forced to learn a little bit about it.
Recalling facts helps your mind stay sharp. So as you age, hopefully it keeps you going longer than if you just relied on TV or internet or something. So that's a theory anyway, that it keeps your mind sharp.
Does trivia help with that?
Yeah. Right, definitely, because you have to recall something instantly, you have to pay attention, remember, and bring it up out of your memory,
Jim and his wife Alice certainly know something about sharp minds. Their team, Table 35, correctly answered 95 out of 100 questions to take home the prize on this night. For them, trivia is a testament to the mind's expansive storage. You won't find them scrolling a smartphone in search of President Taft's Secretary of War. They already know. Michael Marion Morrison is better known by what Hollywood name?
Michael Marion
Morrison.
That's John Wayne.
Yep, John Wayne.
Eminem.
John Wayne. John Wayne.
I didn't know that.
But for many, the prestige of memory captures only a piece of what a trivia night is all about.
Like I said, we're here for the food and the company and the laughs.
Being around friends. It's not about necessarily winning. It's an opportunity to make fun of people that you actually know when they just, absolutely say, you know the answer to this one, it winds up being wrong. You kind of get to hack them a little bit on that one. But, it's just a good time to be around friends.
For most people, it's like, hey, we'll get together with some friends. We'll compete against our pals. We got to beat table 16 because they're our next door neighbors. But it's basically about bringing the wine, getting the beer, making some wings, and sitting around. It's about community.
Perhaps then, trivia nights aren't the last refuge for memory, but a place for the birth of new memories. Something we all can agree isn't trivial at all.